Phoenixes over there, though. He might be afraid of another Psy Storm.
Now, Phoenixes are on the way with Phoenix range, so when he clears up all of those, that's pretty good. If he continually makes Phoenixes, maybe he can get one of these tempo plays done where you're like, you kill off a ton of Hydras with them, but
Well, he's at the point now where he can kind of just hit these mutas forever. Mutas aren't really going to be able to do much of anything. But the Roach counter up here at the top is pretty good. He's going to warp in some more units. We may see a Psy Storm here. Good blink under there. Nicely done.
Yeah, and Phoenix range is just about to finish. We'd love to see him try to chase down those mutas.
Well, I got to hand it to SOS, despite the fact that he really screwed up there for a little bit. And Curious did a really good job with his kind of odd tech switch to throw off his opponent. SOS has stabilized quite a bit. However, Curious has the bases he needs. He can compete economically with his opponent now.
Well, the thing is, the unit composition of SOS is so heavily anti-muta. He's got Blink Stalkers, a little bit of Psy Storm, and then a bunch of ranged Phoenixes. And that is not an army that will deal well with just a macro ground Zerg.
Right.
So, there's no cohesion to SOS's army. It doesn't work well together. It doesn't really do much.
A lot of the, a really good amount of the Zerg games at high levels that are won, especially when it goes on for a long time, is about being in one tech, forcing them to respond with their own tech, and then switching back into a tech that counters that.
Yeah.
And that's how a lot of the great Zerg players have won, when you see these armies that are just so scary. But it looks like the rest of this army is going to be picked off. The Phoenixes can now go on the offense and start trying to get workers.
Yeah, and of course, don't forget that SOS has had 4 bases for a really long time. I love that he's getting Mothership. That's just kind of an interesting thing for him to do right now. It's going to be hard to actually have detection with this army the entire time with that many ranged Phoenixes as well. So you kind of have to be on top of that. But now the Phoenix is going to go on the offense, going for a little bit of harassment. This is such a weird game that we're watching here. The different switches that we've seen, killing the massacre of that army with the mutas has just turned this game so far on its head.
He's now coming in here. He's going to take out all these Overlords. He has supply blocking Zerg, and it doesn't seem like Zerg can really do a ton to stop this. This is a lot of kills on Overlords. It's now down to 166 supply, where Zerg needs to be, or it's maximum 166 to an actual 182.
But look at what he's making right now. He has Hydra Bane for the most part, so Psy Storm is very good against that. But if the Banelings don't die to Psy Storms, they can wreck everything here.
Yeah, very true.
This army, again, it's such a funny, weird-looking army because of the weird situation he was put into with the mutas just popping out of nowhere.
Well, SOS still no 5th base. He has reassembled a pretty solid army. He's almost caught up in supply. He does have Archons with that. That's going to be very helpful against the Banelings. The Nexus now goes down over here, and it will be covered by the Mothership.
Yeah, if he just turtles right now with a lot of Archons, takes this 5th base, and then just goes into Tempest Tech, he should have all of his bases covered, kind of, right? He should have the type of army that Zergs just have no idea how to even deal with.
Well, if you notice, he didn't max out any further. He's actually going to get ready to do a big warp in here with this Warp Prism if Zerg tries to move out, because he can just make a ton of Zealots. That's going to do so much damage. In fact, that moment is going to be right now.
Okay, the Zealots being warped in. Don't forget they do have charge.
And he's going to push up here. Whoa, his army's splitting. This is a bad attack
bad
move
pathing
here.
right there.
Yeah.
All right, the Zealot's doing a lot of damage in that main base. It's going to force units to come back, and that's when SOS can hit another location. He needs to be hitting it, though. He's being a little bit slow about this.
Yeah, his army's a little bit clunky. I'm surprised he didn't go for the one base right in the middle and is instead going to go for this base over here. There are a lot of Banelings, but the angle here is not bad for Protoss.
Dude, he's switching into carriers. That was not something I was expecting, actually.
My.
But yeah, it makes sense. SOS really playing his own brand of StarCraft as we've come to expect.
Oh, my God. Really good storms. And the Banelings there in the front. Beautifully handled. The Spore Colony not going to be enough. Between the storms and the Archons tanking, that just did not do anywhere near enough damage. And if he gets these 2 Spores, what the hell is Zerg going to do then?
Yeah, pretty tough. A lot of Banelings are being made, though. They can still do their splash damage, even though they can't see the units. He does... Oh, nice recall. Wow,
that was
just
cool.
in the nick of time.
Well, he did take out a lot of those Zerg units back there, especially the Banelings. That was a lot of Banelings that were basically just picked off.
Yeah.
That was gas in the trash can for Zerg.
And you know what? This switch into carriers is something that I don't think that Curious would ever really expect to be happening. This really feels like you've seen Storm, you've seen Archons. Okay.
Yeah, you assume that this is now the sophisticated army you're going to be facing off against the whole time. And if he gets enough carriers, I don't know if Zerg's going to have the proper amount of Hydras to fight this.
You're very right. Like, especially when Psystorm's already out.
This is the Protoss version of the mass Muta-Switch.
Kind of, yeah.
You know?
This is such a bizarre game. This is why SOS is so awesome. Like, this is so much fun to even just try to figure out what he is doing here.
Okay, well, the Zealot small counterattack doesn't do that much. Once again, he's moving out on the map. He doesn't seem to care if the carriers are actually revealed here, by the way.
Yeah, just pushing right in. He does have 3 more on the way, but a lot of Corruptors are being made, and the only real anti-Corruptor that I see here is a couple Archons.
Yeah, that's very true.
Corruptors wreck carriers, and I mean, obviously the Mothership will die very quickly.
Zerg trying to counterattack, but it seems like SOS is just very good at rotating around the map to try to zone. Do we have enough Storms here to take those Hydras on? I'm actually not sure.
I think he has enough that the ground army isn't the scariest thing, but like SOS's army itself is a little bit weird. With the Broodlords coming out, that's very good as well at zoning back Archons and High Templars, so maybe that allows his Corruptors to get in?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the thing with the carriers, I mean, let's see how it goes, but it doesn't seem like this is the most ideal way to play. Okay,
yeah,
the Storms come down. Definitely can't fight in that kind of valley. Whoa!
Big mistake right there.
Okay, nice try. Does not work out, though.
Yeah.
And with that many Hydras there, he can really start to fight those Interceptors.
Yeah, they will be picked off very quickly, but another warp in here into the main base, and that group of Zealots that were at the bottom of the map are moving up towards the middle base. I didn't think they'd go
really
there.
Really weird that he's going there.
Yeah, if he
it's
hit
probably the
anywhere
worst
else,
place
that
to
would
go.
have been better.
However, the Zealots are still down here. They might be able to take out the Hive. Meanwhile, more Zealots are splitting up to these different armies. Will they get a good storm here? Really nice on those Banelings, but still, most of these Banelings should be able to connect to the cannons. It should be enough to actually take this base out unless the army can come up here in time.
Ooh, a lot of probes going down right there. He will pick off this base, though, and the main base as well. Really big deal.
He should get the Hydra
Spire is
dead.
in the natural, though.
He gets that. He's going to get the Roach Warren. That means whatever Zerg has right now is what he's going to have for a little while.
Yeah.
Where Protoss can basically keep making everything that he has. He's already re-getting the Mothership Core.
Well, he actually can make a lot of Corruptors as well. Okay, 4 Void Rays being made. Once you get a critical mass of Void Rays, the Corruptors become complete garbage against that. But right now, he doesn't have that. So I'm not sure exactly how many Corruptors we have, though, for Curious.
Also, you know, in some ways, Zerg painted himself into a corner because he got so many Broodlords. How are you going to be offensive with this? I mean, Protoss always just goes around your Broodlords, uses Zealots, warp prisms, all that jazz to try to hit the opposing player.
Yeah. Well, especially as he's going into Sky Toss, like, Broodlords die to things that fly. So that could be a little bit of an issue. Especially as these Void Rays continue to join up, making the Mothership once again. SOS still... here's the thing. Like, we've seen a lot of weird armies made and die, but SOS has never really been threatened on his 4 bases than 5 bases. Like, he has been mining so steadily throughout this game.
Very true.
That he's, like... He doesn't have a big bank or anything, but his army is so teched out. This is such an expensive army.
Okay, the push has begun. Right now, Curious has to have this work. Will he have enough? There are Hydras to try to combat these carriers, as well as all these Corruptors over here. He's going to try to come in, maybe just gun down the Broodlords themselves.
Okay, trying to target down carriers right now with these Corruptors, and then actually makes a mistake.
Whoa.
Huge Psystorms. Curious has to back out of here. Oh my God, those Psystorms plus the Void Rays plus the Iron Archons. That is a victory for SOS right there.
Well, SOS had this one a while ago. Curious managed to maneuver back into a possibly winning position, but, I mean, he's just too good. SOS knows how to constantly reposition himself economically and tech-wise to come out with a victory, and I believe this should be the beginning of the end.
Wow.
GG.
This was so... like, SOS did more tech switches than Curious did.
Yeah,
like,
as Protoss.
Like, that was so weird, the different, like, the variety of unit comps that he used throughout that game was just, like, Curious had a hard time getting a comp together to fight it, and, like, I mean, if you're sitting there with, like, your whole army is Blinkstalker Phoenix with range against, like, Hydra, Ling, Bane, I'm like, oh, God, I don't know, are you going to be able to do this? But SOS, just brilliant as always.
Yeah,
wow.
He's well. It's funny because
he defies explanation.
You fit that many carriers, and I guess they are forced to get the Hydras. And then when you have that much gas, you can just keep switching tech. Plus, when you go Broodlord Corruptor, you can be stuck without a lot of tools. Once you've been out-teched, it's like, okay, what do you do with this? I guess you keep making these things.
Yeah.
Anyways, guys, we're going to go to a short break. When we come back, it'll be a rematch, SOS versus Billowy, for our last match in tonight's GSL Code S.
Breathe. I'm covered in the dirt on your mind, digging deeper with every word that you speak. You're on to me, but honestly, I try to warn you, told you that it was bad news, yeah. I never wanted to make a mess of everything.
마음이 가는 대로 즐겁고 신나게 쓰자. 캠퍼스 시리즈.
그래서 오늘 두 분이 경쟁을 하는 거예요.
부산 전체를 돌아다니면서 저희가 7개의 시청자 여러분들이 다 뿌리도록 하겠습니다. 4번이요.
공동대.
도쿄, 넌 내 거야, 짱! 4번. 네, 4번. 오케이! 정답입니다! 아, 예! 운도 좋아, 운도. 화물 뵙겠다. 정답입니다. 그러면 5대2로 가자.
저희 입수하러 갈게요, 저희는.
둘이서 쓸 수 있어. 귀엽지 않아요? 여러분? 오. 된다. 안녕. 붕어빵 사세요. 그럼 그거를 한번 볼까? 지금 나 혼자 신난 거니 혹시? 이거 귀엽다. 찍어도 되나? 진짜 예쁘다 근데.
댄스 도와의 결선 무대를 시작하겠습니다.
그런 의미를 담은 그 댄스 퍼포먼스,
이 무대를 마음껏 즐기시는 모습을
계속 춤추셨으면 좋겠어요. 꼭. 네.
1등은요 축하합니다 2SC
축하드립니다.
와우.
부산지도 아닙니까, 이거?
와, 7군데를 다 돌 거예요. 1번부터 7번까지 취득을 해서 시청자분들한테 나눠줄 수 있어요.
아, 자갈시장 도쿄! 부산에서요, 자갈시장. 오우! 자, 나오세요. 자, 가면서 나오시고. 2시간! 야, 이겼다! 이번에 이겼어! 그러면 어서
바깥으로 나가야 될 것 같은데 일단.
클래스 있다면 4번! 아, 좋아요. 타이페이죠, 타이페이. 광안리? 괌이다! 괌. 야, 이건 크다. 부산 분들 위주로 좀 드리면 될 것 같아요, 내장. 오.
그런데 스노우의 밤에는 가장 좋은 기능 중에 하나가 실시간으로 적용되는 아이템. 나마띠. 스노우의 기능이 어마무시하죠, 진짜로? 원반입니다. 로모띠. 저한테 채팅으로 보내주시면 치킨 5마리를 뿌리겠습니다, 시청자분들.
라이디오빠 사랑해요.
급식이야? 와 센스.
내가 상당히 애착을 했다고.
실시간으로 친구들이랑 가족들이랑 이제 사진 보내주고 같이 함께 꾸미면 더욱더 이쁜 스노우의.
What's up, guys? Tassels and Tonsils is back. It's time
Here we
for,
are.
That's right.
The final match, Tasteless.
The rematch, Artosis.
Yeah. The rematch of Billowy versus SOS. Billowy kind of wrecking SOS in that first series. It was like, I thought the second game was like really, really, really good. But Billowy outplaying SOS. Really, his PvP is so solid, but SOS now, he's warmed up completely. He got to play against Billowy before. Maybe he has some plans this time. Maybe he has a better feel of what's going to go down, because Game 1 went completely according to Billowy's plan. Game 2, SOS was going to counter what Billowy's been doing, and Billowy switched it up. So now that SOS has both those pieces of the puzzle, that he can switch it up and he can play like the most solid macro game, at least he can have a better plan now.
Let's see if SOS has made the proper adjustments, if SOS has any more tricks up his sleeve, or if Billowy's just too good.
Well, I don't know. Like, either one of these guys go up, I don't mind. Like, they are both so good, so fun to watch, to be honest. Like, I've become a huge Billowy fan tonight. Even if he goes out 0-2 here, this is a Protoss I will watch every game.
Here's the crazy thing, Artosis. If SOS loses here, that really proves even further that you don't need to be on a team.
Yeah.
In current StarCraft 2 2017 to be on top. And SOS is about the most accomplished player currently on a team anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
Just put that out there.
What if we find out that teams actually this entire time have been a hindrance?
Yeah.
And in fact, the Koreans haven't reached their full potential. They needed to be teamless.
That's right. They need to be in their apartments alone.
Yeah.
Grinding. I don't know. Let's find out, man. This is game number 1 on the map Echo. It's our last best of 3 for tonight. With our last 2 players, SOS and Billowy. One of these 2 gets one step closer to becoming a GSL Code S champion. The other is knocked out of this season of Code S and has to wait until next time. Say something, Artosis. We're not done yet.
No. I'm going to be quiet until the cybernetic scores are done.
In the bottom right in the blue. We already have a probe on the map, by the way.
Jin-Air Green.
When you say it with me, SOS. See? There we go.
Yeah,
now you know it's really us and the voices for that.
This could be a gas steal. We'll see.
Billowy.
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 It could
when
also
we did
be
the voice acting, we made our voices really nasally.
Yeah, it looks like it is a gas steal, guys. Yeah, he's trying to skirt way around, but yeah, Billowy's on top of it. Okay, so
get wrecked.
Now I guess he can do this micro dance for a while, but you just bring an extra probe off. So what SOS is looking for with this probe now is he just has to kind of harass with it, because he's lost a lot of mining time to do this.
That's right.
And it's costed Billowy almost 0 to deal with this, right? So this is a great move to do. You just deny patches over. Oh, he mined minerals, so now he can't do that. All he can do is attack probes. Wow, like this so far, we find ourselves with Billowy in a lead.
Well, really good handling here so far by Billowy. SOS, the guy with every build in the book. But so far, Billowy with every response to it. It truly is a Karate Kid story.
Yeah.
Billowy not sure why he was in Mr. Miyagi's team house this whole time until all of a sudden SOS was like, wax off, wax on.
Well, that's going to be what Billowy is doing here, Tasteless, when he goes for 2 Stalkers into a Nexus, into a Robo, into Blink, because he does that every game.
That's right, into a crane kick.
Yeah.
It closes it out. Have you seen that YouTube video where it points out that actually that kid in the Karate Kid movie is actually the jerk and not the guy that's supposed to be the bully?
Oh.
Have you seen this YouTube video?
I think I did.
It's
see
hilarious,
that. Yeah.
man. You like watch it, you're like, wait a minute, actually,
I like
the
videos
Cobra
like
Kai
that.
are really not that bad at all.
Did you see the video explaining how Jar Jar Binks is actually a Sith Lord?
I have seen that.
That's a pretty good one too. You didn't see the new Star Wars movie, did you?
Not yet. No.
It was pretty good.
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
I'm in no rush.
The ending is fantastic.
I will eventually see it.
Fantastic ending. But,
Stalker's now moving out here for SOS. Billowy just checking around with his own Stalker, seeing if there's any more tricks SOS might be trying to throw at him. And it looks like he should be getting a Nexus pretty soon here at his natural.
Yeah. And,
oh, yeah, he is getting it
probably
already.
going right into the Robo as well. Now, SOS with the 4 Stalkers, this could be a massive Stalker bust that he goes for. That is an absolute possibility. Like you go 3 gates, possibly, and one is proxied and just go for it. But just continue. Yeah, he's just making Stalkers nonstop.
There's so
here.
many ways to play a down and dirty PvP. And it seems like SOS wants to punt Billowy into game 2 without Billowy even getting to the point of the game where he gets to show off how good he is.
Yeah. This is really similar to what Billowy did against SOS on Daybreak, where it's just like constant Stalker production, making that Nexus as well. And with the Proxy Pylon, he gets 2 more Stalkers, so...
That's about as close as you can get as well with a Proxy Pylon. Oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah, so...
Thought he was going to come out and maybe get the Pylon.
Yeah, Billowy does always keep that sentry in the main base with his mothership.
Doing some decent damage with these with this additional Stalker coming down now, and the mothership core probes too. He has to go ahead and back off. But more Stalkers are coming. He wants to try to force this. The Nexus is coming along right now for SOS.
You know what I really like that I see here is that SOS is warping into 2 Adepts, and this is going to force a mothership core to stay in the main base in Shades Pass. So.
Yep.
But he starts to walk up. That's great force fields right there, and Billowy's going to be able to pick off all these units.
Really nicely done.
Wow.
In fact, he can even fight these Stalkers from behind here. The Mothership Core is in a perfectly good position here. It's been activated, the Pylon Cannon. Actually, only 1 Adept remaining. And, of course, the Mothership can just continue to pursue that. I don't believe that there's any way for this to be breached over here into the natural right now of Billowy. He's in good shape.
And look what SOS is actually going for here, too. He's going for Disruptor Tech. Because he's already in this kind of weird position. He got a pretty good scout off there and sees what's going on. There's no Twilight yet, and Twilight is going to be like the best thing to fight against that. So, I mean, I do like the fact that he's going to go once again for Disruptor drops probably, but I got to say, Billowy just is so rock solid on these defenses.
Especially in PvP against SOS. He's so scary.
SOS is one of the scariest PvPers of all time.
He's one of the scariest players of all time.
Yeah. He varies his play so much, and in PvP that's generally really strong. But Billowy, like, with his Bildowy, is so, like, it's just this most solid thing that you can see. He just, like, deflects everything.
That's tough, too, in PvP especially, to try to have a build where you're just kind of ready for everything. It's not easy.
No, it certainly is not. Yeah, a couple of Adepts coming in, so he's going to be able to get a little bit of damage done. Oh, very good block right
there. SOS, always with the good control. Okay, so he takes that out, keeps the sentry there.
Oh. And it's actually Disruptor Tech coming in as well for Billowy, but I don't see that as being very helpful here. Because, the Disruptor speed Prism drops.
Yeah, he's going to have much more agility on his side.
Yeah. Like, you can just fly over the place, flank, catch your opponent's Disruptors. Billowy's just going to have to do that thing where he puts the Stalkers on the edges of his bases and tries not to let it in, but he's going to
play a turtle game for a while here.
Yeah.
Now, if he drops this in the wrong spot, activates the Disruptor, he can lose the Disruptor. Okay, here we go. Oh, no.
Ooh.
Okay, that was close. Going to try again here. Okay,
oh, geez.
He actually... What?
Oh,
my God. I actually thought for a second that Billowy could actually kill that.
Well,
if he had skirted forward for a second.
Yeah. Well, if he had killed it, he would be in a much better position than he is right now.
Yeah.
And in fact, he's going Stargate. He realizes that this is a kind of gross position. And Billowy's actually going to go for his own speed disruptor drops.
Yeah, a delayed speed disruptor to try to counter the speed disruptor of SOS. But SOS is already reaping the benefits of this.
The new meta, both sides make speed disruptor drops and 1 Phoenix. Try to chase that down.
Yeah, try to force this game back into a more ordinary tech.
Blink on the way for SOS, so he's going to want to deal with that. Disruptor with that blink upgrade, but it is going to take a little while.
And, of course, the speed Oracle here, darting around the map, it can be used to try to snipe the army as it's moving out. So this really is never ending until Billowy can actually get a Phoenix and try to deny the existence of the Warp Prism on the map.
This is kind of wild.
Oh, no, he's getting actually Colossus.
Yeah, he has one Disruptor for his Prism and going into Colossus with some Phoenix production. Like this, I don't even know, man. Like, the only time we really see Colossus is when your opponent is going Phoenixes to try to counter Disruptors.
Right.
Colossus can be really good because Phoenixes don't really kill him quick enough. But the fact that, like, it's not SOS doing that, like, I don't know. Because if SOS just goes, like, Blink and Disruptors, I guess that he's looking and saying, well, I have Phoenixes, so you can't use Disruptors. And then my Colossus kind of kill everything? This is what a weird night.
It's very
strange.
weird
games. This is like really cool though. I love sitting here and watching new metas like be invented before our eyes.
And then the Dark Shrine here from SOS, which is usually a little bit later in PvP, but you do get the Dark Shrine eventually because you're pretty spread out on the map. And you know, the more bases you have, the more locations you're trying to control. A Dark Templar can turn a game upside down if you don't catch it right away. Really gutsy play here by Billowy. Looking possibly. Oh! No. SOS too good. Guns that down immediately. But had that worked out, he would have killed off all of the sentries there for SOS, which of course is pretty handy.
SOS is going Colossus now too. I think it's because he sees Phoenixes in Colossus, so he's like, well, I mean, how do you fight Colossus with Colossus if you don't have Disruptors, right?
Yeah.
It's like, so. And it's not like he can just go into Tempest Tech right now. He's way too far off of that. This is the weirdest, man.
All right, we have Thermal Lance coming. This
Both
is
of us
funny.
are just sitting here staring at the screen what?
Well, it's funny because they're both teching kind of after each other.
Yeah.
Oh, he's doing this. Well, I better do this too.
Yeah.
But, you know, now that you've got enough Colossus, you have to go with that for a little bit and maybe eventually get Immortals here. You can get Disruptors as well. It depends on how fleshy their Tier 1 army is around the Colossus.
Yeah. Like, here's the thing. Like, okay, so SOS going into Colossus, he needs Splash. He needs something to deal with his opponent's Colossus. Colossus can be something that does that. But the problem is he doesn't have any anti-Disruptor. So if Billowy sniffs this out and makes his own Disruptors, he will Shrek SOS like really, really hard because, yeah, I mean that's part of the reason we don't see Colossus anymore is because you play Colossus with a Death Ball, which means everything is together, which means Disruptors would wreck that.
Right. Funny ass game, man.
Yeah.
You know, here's what's kind of cool about it is most of the time, like in the last match we saw. Zerg, for instance, a lot of times against Protoss, they try to get a certain tech to force Protoss to respond with a certain type of army to stop that tech. And then as they trade into that fight, they switch to a new tech to try to counter it. But we've had this happen in a mirror matchup when 3 bases are still developing.
Yeah.
And they're kind of playing around that.
Yeah. There's so much, like, I want to say to and fro here.
Yeah. It's kind of cool. Did not get actually a single Phoenix with that, by the way. But the push has begun here for SOS. Billowy with a good number of Colossi of his own.
This is so wild. He's actually getting a decent amount of Adepts right now also, and I'll be interested to see how they use those because sometimes if you spread your army a little bit or get something behind Colossus, it's very good, but is this the right situation with those?
Okay, the fight started. I think the angling here favors SOS. He may try to scuffle over to the upper left base. No, he's going to rotate back around here. This map is also funny for PvP just in general because there's a lot of odd engages that you can have.
Yeah.
You got to quarter them out of certain bases. Okay, this is a mistake.
Huh. Okay, well, he's doing whatever he can with the Phoenixes right now. He's making so many Colossus, by the way, and going into Tempest Tech. Wow, just such a wild game. I have literally never seen anything like this.
Hold up!
This is a big attack coming in from SOS. A blink forward. They're trying to pick off some Colossi. These Colossi are doing so much damage against those Adepts that are trying to actually shield the rest of his army.
Horrible engage there for SOS.
Yeah.
And I think if he takes these Phoenixes, starts picking up these Stalkers, he can shave off the rest of this army and maybe even counter back in there. Now, keep in mind, SOS was ahead in supply. SOS now behind. It's 125 to 148, but he was ahead before that fight. Almost a shocking moment that SOS just decided to go for it.
Well, I think he was looking at the actual text and saying, a lot of his army was Adepts, and Adepts very late game are kind of like roaches, where it's like, okay, this is a good unit, but when I have this many this late into the game, Splash is going to murder this.
Yeah.
So I think he was like just trying to trade out as best he can, but he's in a terrible spot here. There are Tempests on the map. He is going Colossus. He does not have Tempest.
So weird.
And look at how many Colossus that Billowy has. It's crazy. He has like 6 or 7 Colossus right now. He's like going to have only Colossus and Tempest.
He's getting I was going to say he's getting Tempest along with this. He needs something on the ground to try to soak up damage. I think you are right. Adepts may not be the answer for that. As you get to the point where you're both nearing a maxed out position, which Billowy most certainly is at 179 supply. Their expansions for the 4th base are actually really close to each other.
Yeah,
seems like SOS.
Are.
You know, it's also not clear for SOS what his opponent's supply is. If you have a couple fights like this, sometimes you don't know how ahead or behind you are. So, in kind of a funny game that we're seeing, it's SOS that keeps moving around the map trying to pick the fights, but now it's Billowy that has the bigger army. And normally, if you're behind in supply, picking a fight's not wise.
Yeah, his tech is so superior as well. Look at this. A bunch of this supply is still in Adepts for SOS. So yeah, he kind of has this mobility, but like, the Tempests are going to be so strong. The Colossus are just going to evaporate if they actually meet each other in battle.
Okay, he does zone that out for the time being. Is Billowy going to come down here and try to swallow up this army? Again, we're just here in game 1. Remember, guys, the winner does move on to the round of 16. We could have SOS eliminated here. Looks like he's going to try to move the War Prism away. The War Prism does go down. Meanwhile, more Colossi fire is coming in here. Can SOS shave through this army and start dealing damage to the opposing Colossus?
Yeah, he's trying to kill those Colossus off now, and a recall goes down, so he will save some.
No, you forgot me.
Still 7 Colossus left alive. Wow.
SOS taps out. Billowy wins game 1. What the hell is going on, Artosis?
The weirdest games.
So weird. The results are weird. I mean, I knew that Billowy was really good, but SOS, I sort of default as the player who's going to have to get out no matter what.
Yeah.
Billowy's still got a fighting chance. He already beat the 2-time world champion, SOS, once already.
Yeah.
Can he do it again?
Yeah. Like, this is crazy, but here's the other part, too. Like, SOS has been in this situation a lot of times. Win or lose, he's still the 2-time world champion. He has nothing left to prove.
SOS,
Billowy, though,
who's basically done almost everything you can do in StarCraft 2 competitive field, and is still on a team, Artosis, is about to lose to Billowy, who's not on a team, who was, cannon fodder a lot of times in Pro League.
He was cannon fodder. It's a good way to put it.
Wow, I mean, this is just a very different year here in 2017, man.
Yeah.
Madness.
Well, that's fun, man. The first season of the GSL each year is always like this, where we're like, oh, this guy's good now? Well, that's crazy.
Well, we did have 4 months off, right? So that's enough time for someone to really develop and blossom as a player. But, I mean, Billowy SOS, I wouldn't have. It's like we were talking about, maybe we're in an episode of Rick and Morty and we're in another parallel universe where it's actually Billowy is, the best Protoss and he's smashing SOS.
Well, that game was a Cronenberg game if I've ever seen one. So I have no idea. The last few games that we've been casting here tonight, strategically so far out there. And this is what happens when SOS gets in the game. Like, things get so convoluted because there are, there's so many little nuances that you can play upon. And, both these guys kind of fell to SOS trying to counter Billowy here, but he was a little bit too late on everything. But here's the one thing, okay? We're acting like SOS has already lost to Billowy. Well, he did technically. But what I'm saying is this series isn't over because this is the defining moment for Billowy. Does he get into the round of 16? That is so important. Does he get into that group selection phase? That is a big milestone in a player's career, and he's so close. You don't know. Things can go wrong in your brain.
Yeah.
Does he see himself as this player
well,
that can
you
do
can
this
get
right
freaked
now?
out. Oh my God, I'm about to do it. But then you start to think about that. It's a feedback loop.
Yeah.
You're not really focused on the game. I don't think it's going to happen to Billowy this time because we've had some long games where Billowy is basically staying ahead of SOS.
Yeah.
In fact, he's almost making SOS look a little bit more like the amateur. Like SOS is getting nervous and just going for it and hoping it works.
But what if SOS wins this game? Then what happens to Billowy's mentality? Okay, if SOS just beats him, then suddenly Bill's like,
"Uh-oh,
oh my God."
Felt good for a couple hours while we were here, but
Yeah.
now I might get eliminated.
Yeah. That is
Also, SOS going for the gas steal back there.
Yeah.
He's really not trying to play normal games, and Billowy is. And generally, the longer you play the normal games overall, the more awards you get in StarCraft 2. You got to cheese from time to time, but kind of a funny night here, especially with SOS still on a team, still having so much time to practice. This is the new era, the era of the one-man army StarCraft players. The guys that are going from rags to riches. Kings will be slain. What did Artosis once say? All kings must die. Let's see if Marfucius, the great philosopher, was right about that tonight. As we go into game number 2, Billowy with a 1-0 lead. Let's see if SOS can turn this around, or if Billowy is truly our deserving round of 16 player. In the bottom left, say it with me, Artosis, ready? Generic Green Wings, SOS. So now we have 4.
He didn't sync it very well.
That was kind of the point, though. That was supposed to be like...
It's just like
and then we need to have that recording playing when we do it again.
Here's the
so
thing,
it's just
too.
like a beehive army of Tastosis casters.
Here's the problem. Like, if we do that, where it's unsynced like that, imagine some guy brings his laptop into the Grand Canyon, and then, like, all 4 voices, slightly desynced, all start to echo, and it just causes the loudest noise ever made, and the Grand Canyon is destroyed.
Oh, my God.
What then, Tasteless? It took the Colorado River millions of years to carve that out. And then one GSL intro takes it all down, stronger than the forces of gravity and water, the voices of Tastosis.
That's right. This is the future we have wrought. Man, it's going to be freaking weird if Billowy wins.
Yeah.
I mean, he definitely looks better than SOS so far.
He does.
He literally looks a lot better. Normally, nobody looks better than SOS. SOS either plays weird enough that he wins, or just weird enough and wonky enough that someone kind of escaped his clutches.
Yeah, like he was too smart.
Because
he was like 14 levels deep, but they were only 12 levels deep, so he was 2 extra, and that's the counter to 1 extra.
Yeah. It's almost like normally when SOS plays against people, you're kind of in SOS's crazy fun house with weird mirrors, and SOS's voice is like, "Wah, this mirror will show you what your soul looks like."
Yeah.
And nerds are running around like, "Ah!" like trying to defeat all their fears, and trap doors are coming out, and clowns are dropping on bungee cords, laughing at them with fire in the background. But some nerds escape that.
Some nerds do.
The SOS fun house.
Well, one of the ways that nerds sometimes escape it is just like very calm macro games that cross every T, dot every I, you know? And that's kind of the way Billowy is trying to play, even though he's been forced into some weirdness as well. So,
Billowy might be the guy in the Scary Movie that actually survives the Scary Movie.
Yeah, he's looking like it. Here he is with his same old build. A little bit later on this Nexus, getting that Sentry out. And, yeah, I mean, this is like super safety play. Will he go right into the Robo? Good catch there on that probe, by the way.
Yeah.
That's actually quite important because Billowy doesn't make early adepts, so he can't tell if there's an expansion without that probe on the map.
Mm-hmm. Very important.
And this
Looks
is that
like the
same
Nexus.
build from SOS, the stalker pressure.
Seemed like last time Billowy handled this pretty well. Moved on to the phase of the game he was going to get to anyways.
Yeah. The one big difference is that Echo has a tiny little ramp, right? So those 2 force fields massacred him. It split his army in half. He killed half the army. He's way ahead. Here, it's Daybreak, so it's like if you do
berth is quite big.
Yeah, if you do like basically exactly the same thing, it's a lot harder to actually make it pay off because the Mothership Core has to help at the natural.
He's already doing a lot of damage. He can actually try to get this pylon. Ooh, good engage here. Going to be able to gun down the Stalker. Can he get away with his own? No, he cannot. Okay, but he's still trading pretty well. Oh, and the probe goes down.
Yeah, this is
more
good for
stalkers.
SOS.
Ooh, SOS. Warp it in more.
Okay, so he didn't warp in any adepts here, which means the Mothership Core can stay down here and help out, but Billowy has he doesn't have quite as many units. Okay, so there is that.
Baits it out.
Yeah.
Does he get the 2 adepts now, though? Sometimes you can do that after they have the triggered the pylon here. There's one adept coming in right now. So you want to bait out that one pylon cannon, and then
the thing is, the Immortal is halfway done for Billowy, so all he has to do is follow this shade up and like throw down a couple photon overcharges, and it's like, okay, you did it. You have an Immortal as rushes over.
He's pulling probes, but he hasn't gotten a surround here. I think actually Billow is handling this right, Artosis.
Yeah.
He's just like, okay,
super
I will
safe.
get you. You will die. It's not that scary.
4 probes.
That's how you survive SOS's funhouse. You realize you're not afraid anymore. You're not a 9-year-old boy anymore, and you don't have to be afraid of clowns.
Yeah. Until the clown takes out his machete.
Yeah.
Chops off your nerd head. And in this game, he actually did kind of do that. He got 4 probes with that, and suddenly, like, SOS is actually up by 4 probes.
Yeah.
Look at that.
He's
Look
a crafty
at that.
player. He's still good, guys.
Yeah.
He's still got it. Now, he is going to go for a drop over here, and he might kind of almost like a Reaver push we've seen in ASL. He might start dropping at the entrance. He could drop in the main, but he could also come up here and start chucking this at the opposing stalkers and start trying to shave that off there because the berth is big, so the pushes are strong at expansions, but also there's not a lot of room in that expansion, really.
That's
between
a good point.
where the pylons are set up, the gases. You could definitely get some sweet spots there with the disruptor.
You know, he might do a full-on push. That's actually something Hero did last night against Billowy, but Billowy got like very quick blink, so was able to stop it. But like, if you don't have that quick blink, if you don't have your own disruptors, I mean, a bunch of ground units plus disruptor, you're eventually going to push through. The sentries are going to go right away. The Immortal is not going to be able to dodge very quickly. You know, these are slow units. All right, coming up right now.
2 sentries lagging behind here. So it looks like he may try to push here in the front. I think it's okay, make up your mind. Okay, he does hit that Immortal. Not bad. There is a Warp Prism coming out right now for Billowy, but it's a little bit later, so definitely a tempo advantage here for SOS. But how much damage can he really do with this? Billowy is definitely interested in winning this, minutes from now, maybe tens of minutes from now. Whereas SOS is really trying to chip him apart early on.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Well, he's continuing to harass. Ooh, he actually misclicked that a little bit.
Yeah.
I think he maybe right-clicked on the pylon instead of the
I think so.
beyond it or
Yeah,
something.
I think you're right.
That he could have gotten a decent amount of probes right there. Still, he's going to continue to try to harass, and Billowy going into Dark Shrine, getting his blink as well. Dark Shrine for SOS also. I like it.
Okay, here we go. And nice trade. 4 probes down. Gets out. Basically unscathed.
Yeah, I mean, this is not looking bad for SOS.
Okay, you know what? Maybe 2-base Dark Shrine is actually better. We're talking about this like it's crazy. Maybe this is really the way to play. We had a lot of time off the StarCraft 2 guys, at least with the Koreans out here in Code S.
Yeah, I guess.
Oh,
that's
now
a
that, believe it or not, as crazy as SOS is not a strategy. Don't try this at home, kids.
Well, he's trying to trick him. He's like, oh, that must be a hallucination.
Yeah.
SOS had a 50% chance of that
He's
getting
like,
in the
why
main
do you
base.
toy with me in your funhouse, SOS? SOS is making his goofy clown laugh. Maybe he's that guy with the cape that's like the, what's the guy that, Carnival Barker? Is that what it is? Yeah.
Oh. The guy that tries to get you to come in the tent, you
mean? But then he's like, realizes that that was actually his Immortal. The funhouse is turned against him.
Oh, no.
His
sounds like a Goosebumps book.
Oh! He's going to get both.
Ouch.
Sayonara.
Ouch.
Now Stalkers are coming up.
Well, he has Blink, so that's really big. Oh, he kills the Observer. That's huge because they both have Dark Shrine. So if someone doesn't have an Observer, if one of these Observers gets sniped, that player has to withdraw if they don't have the protection.
You just don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Does take that down. Spotter Observer in position. SOS peeks forward. DT's over here. Nicely deflected. Meanwhile, a decent force field there does shave off some of those units. Adepts shade in to get a good idea of what exactly is up here. What are they against? It looks like he's going to commit.
Billowy getting some more DTs in here as well. Yeah, he does commit.
But the
and
Immortals
DT's
can't
helping
attack
a
back
lot.
here.
Look at these DTs go to town. He doesn't have detection right here.
Yeah,
the Observer went into the main base because he dropped a DT there, but now these DTs at the front doing so much damage.
He's still pushing forward right now. He's going to be able to take out this pylon at least. Is he going to continue to press? He might even make this into an Archon now. Coming forward.
Okay, the Observer has come back down. And he's trying to pick off his opponent's Observer if possible. Remember, if anyone loses their Observer completely, that just means that the DTs go to town. Third base for Billowy is going up, whereas SOS has not started his.
SOS a little bit crippled so far, but he is fighting back. Okay, he does have an Observer with this, so we definitely know who wins that fight.
Yeah, that third is mining. So Billowy, I think, is looking very strong right now. Of course, the Blink upgrade really great as well. You don't have the type of economy you need to really keep this Adept production up and just overrun him. Billowy has a bigger economy than SOS does.
Okay. SOS is going to try to put some pressure on. We do not see a third base, by the way, here. I mean, SOS can't just stay on, 2 base versus 3 base for that long in a mirror matchup. One DT is hitting up there.
Man.
Oh, man, that could actually do a ton of damage, especially with all these attacks from different angles. I can't believe he missed that.
Yeah,
okay.
That's a big
He's
deal.
coming forward now. One Archon is warping in. That'll be handy if the Adepts try to shade on top here. Decides to back up.
Okay, the DT working its way in right now. And in fact, oh, look at that. Did
he
get some
actually
kills
picked off
down
these
at the
probes.
fourth base. And a ton of kills going down in that main base. He will be able to clean it up, but kind of pulling him apart. And if he gets a kill on this Nexus, that brings SOS right back into it.
Looks like he might be able to do just that. The Nexus basically with no shields, not mining just yet. Worker count for the time being 37 to 44 with SOS having superior workers, just not a third base yet, although that has started over here in the center of the map, a location where he can actually reinforce from and run back to defend from. So right now SOS is continuing to press on his opponent.
Continuing to make only Adepts, and SOS is going into Disruptors once again. Definitely could be very helpful coming up. This is like an amazingly well-played game from both sides.
Yeah, this is a super nail-biter of a game, man.
I feel like this Disruptor is really going to get a lot of work done. Another DT sneaking its way up.
Yeah, and still taking out workers. Only forcing Billowy to get further and further behind. It doesn't matter how many bases you have. If you can't support them with probes mining from them, you basically don't have much to offer in the game. A DT, though, here at Billowy is going to go around. Already a cannon in place. Oh, this is funny.
Ooh.
Oh, my God. Is this going to work?
What a great snipe that this would be. Oh, he has an Observer coming back.
Okay,
with
but
the rest of his
good
armor.
runaway.
Yeah.
He's actually really forcing this to be pursued. Uh-oh. Don't give up.
Oh. He's going to get it.
He might have
Should have gotten DT Blink. Should have gotten it.
You had the choice, man.
Yeah.
Well, now with SOS being pulled all the way back due to that DT, he's able to roam the map pretty freely. Initially, this was a game where map control did go to SOS.
And now both of them kind of having these massive armies. Looks like the army supply slightly in SOS's favor, but it's more Adept heavy.
Okay,
and as we get bigger supplies, that gets weaker in some ways.
Dude, Billowy's really good with that DT. He takes out those 3 probes. The moment he sees any reaction from SOS, he just runs for it.
Yeah.
He just books it out of there. Meanwhile, it's SOS's turn. We don't have a cannon here. We don't have an Observer here. We don't have anything to stop this DT. Meanwhile, a fight here in the middle of the map with just Stalkers.
And forcing that economy to really go back quite a bit. He snipes the Disruptor, but he's taking a lot of hits during all that.
Okay, he does get the DT. He can transfer back to that third base. At this point in time, though, SOS is really the one in the lead. He's got a bigger army. He's been able to mine from his base more. But here comes another DT from Billowy. And, that cannon, the idea was good. The placement was not. And he can't quite combat that. And this is kind of an odd, isolated location on the map here. SOS is going to go for it. 2 Disruptors in the fray.
Ooh, those Disruptors can just destroy these Adepts so hard. Look at that. Okay, he just shaves off about 3 there in the back. But he's going to end up getting this Nexus, which is a giant kill.
And he could just run away.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. This is now this game is now Billowy's problem
to
try to come back and make a win. SOS just has to keep getting more ahead and cementing his lead.
And look at that. It's so hard to actually chase when your opponent has Disruptors. Another Disruptor coming down. And, ooh, that hit could be good. Gets a few Stalkers.
That more than I thought, to be honest.
Yeah.
Oh,
no! Target's the wrong one.
That might be the crippling blow there.
Yeah.
Billowy continuing to chase. SOS has days to recover.
Boy. I think he lets that finish.
Yeah. No.
No, I guess not.
He's crazy.
Being very, very careful at the moment, but like this is looking fantastic right now for SOS, pushing back. He's up about 40 spots.
Oh, but
good
three
disruptor
disruptors.
hits.
And remember, it's really easy to kill adepts with disruptors.
Yes.
There's no, end all, fix all to get away from disruptors. So,
It's a single stalker. That's fine.
Yeah.
The thing is, with these supplies, like Billowy does have a chance to come back. He just needs the disruptor hits of a lifetime, and disruptor hits of a lifetime happen like almost every PvP. So,
yeah,
definitely
he's
a
coming
possibility.
forward. Adepts are going to try to shade right on top of this. Will they commit? No. SOS erring on the side of caution. He knows he's already in good shape. He does not need to overextend. He needs to play the long game. As Billowy is struggling to catch up. Oh my God.
Okay. Well.
Okay, bruises those two immortals, which is pretty important considering the stalker count here from Billowy. Although ideally he does want to get a clump of adepts.
And hey, he hits them again, and bam, they're gone. Okay, another DT coming over here. Oh, Billowy really needs to start getting some cannons.
Yeah, and I would say cannons over observers because they're both forced into making so many disruptors. You can't really stop to get one observer, or then you lose to disruptors in the game.
Yeah, this is a problem. The amount of times that Billowy has had to run away from this base is pretty crazy. He does bring an observer down, has a couple of depths, so maybe he's okay for now.
Okay, the adepts are now rotating over here. I think he realizes he no longer even has to rely on DTs to hit that base. He can actually just come in with adepts and just with sheer firepower gun down all the workers, furthering the lead here for SOS. 2
defensive adepts there and an observer. That's anti-DT. That's not
the observer just helps
adepts.
you really see how much you're losing that base. That's it. You're like, man, well, now we really know how bad this is.
You're like, wow, there aren't even DTs there and all my probes are dead.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, this is very good harassment by SOS. He's taking another base during all this. Kind of funny locations that he's taken. I might like it.
Okay, well, this may be the nail in the coffin here.
Well, this is going to force Billowy to do something drastic if he wants to win this game.
And Billowy to push across here. Billowy's supply right now is at 122, the 190 of SOS.
Oh, great disruptor
that's
right there, at least.
But yeah, it's not going to let you win this game. The probe count actually right now for Billowy is at 18, guys.
Ooh, that is so low. It's not even a full base saturation with gases. A lot of disruptors out here for SOS at the moment.
One good disruptor hit could kill that, but I think it would be that plus a couple more miracles for Billowy to actually recuperate.
Yeah, like if he sent off a couple of disruptor hits, killed every disruptor, and then really milked his disruptors, he could still take this. So you never know. SOS makes a little mistake here with his army movement. Of course, that's why you never see a Protoss player leave a PvP until every disruptor and stalker is gone.
Okay, we have a drop over here now, but it will be deflected. There's just too much. Once again, dude, I love the rotation here from SOS. It feels bad to watch this with Billowy, but you know, if Billowy makes any mistakes every time, this attack is huge.
Yeah. Okay, Billowy has this high ground area, but that watchtower, he's going to see him come down. Oh, tries to blink in and get a kill on that disruptor. Doesn't quite work though. Ooh.
That was great play by play.
Ooh. Do it with me, Tasteless.
You sounded like a stoned cow. Whoa. Oh, it connects. Wow. Okay, he's starting to take out these adepts.
Yeah,
he's not in a bad position. He has to make sure that his disruptors can connect with the opposing disruptors, but there is a counterattack set up.
SOS actually gets several. I think that was 3 disruptors possibly killed off there of Billowy's. Disruptor count's getting a little bit smaller. Look at these funny little adept things.
He's going to try to shade over here and try to get this other base on the upper left. Note that SOS has basically ignored the most common expanded tube base in the center left.
Look at this 4 adept tech against 3 adept defense.
Which one wins? Is it 4 or is it 3?
It's a 3 if all the probes are immediately attacked.
Well, Billowy seems to have a response for everything. But this is a big mountain to climb to come back from this. But you know what? The supply has dropped considerably here.
Oh my
God!
Wow.
Whoa.
That 3 shot right there from SOS was a little bit. He's like, I want to get him so badly!
Well, he's going to try to come in. I don't think SOS is going to let his eyes steer away from these disruptors for the time being. It's tough to push in this valley, by the way.
Yeah, this is really all that matters right now for both of them. Get the disruptor hits, and you might be able to win this game, but SOS is dismantling everything else Billowy has.
16 workers here. Kind of crazy. I mean, SOS is just continuing to get a bigger and bigger lead.
Oh, SOS just barely getting that one off first.
He's trying to come in here. You know, when you consider how low the worker count is, it's almost hard to reinforce with any more adepts back here to defend. So many options here. I'm surprised Billy's able to stay in this game for this long.
Yeah. All that's keeping him in this game is this little army that he has here. If he somehow gets the hits, he can still win it. But, like, SOS is just zoning him out while picking apart everything else on the map.
He's doing a really good job of it. As you can see, SOS is always preempting the disruptor play from Billowy. Whoa!
Nice snipe right there, blinking away immediately. Ooh, more hits. Okay, that one actually goes to Billowy. That's a good one.
All right, he's trying to come in. The thing is, this is just, it's so hard to break somebody when they're doing this. You can always basically preempt those disruptors if you're in the defensive position. And frankly, Billow is trying to find a place with an even fighting turf, even surface area. And when you're controlling this many units, it's tough to even get that right surface area set up when the actual fight is. Eventually, Billowy taps out.
Yeah.
And that brings us to our final game.
Okay, and this is what I was talking about. Now SOS has won that game. That was a good game back and forth, but SOS kind of took control and didn't give it up. Like, his harassment was better, his DTs were better. So now, Billowy's sitting here. He's up overall on SOS 3-1, but if he loses one more game, that's it.
Yeah, that's
and
the
somewhere
nature
an
of the group
MLG
format.
guy is like, extended series, see what I mean? Yeah. But like Billowy, the pressure is truly on him right now. It doesn't matter if he played better PvPs tonight. If he loses this next game, it all goes to SOS.
The pinnacle right now of his career.
Yeah.
Could he get to the round of 16? Could he get that much closer to becoming a Royal Roader? He's got to go through the guy that got second place in GSL, the man who has won 2 world championships, SOS. I mean, SOS is the cockroach of StarCraft 2. He just does not die no matter what the circumstances are.
Oh my God, that's great. That is fantastic. I love it. And he lives through
SOS, El Cucaracha.
Cucaracha.
I need to have some, what are they called, maracas to shake?
Yeah. That's what it sounds like in his opponent's heads when he gets in there.
All right, guys, this is the last game of the night. Can Billowy overcome all odds, or will history repeat itself and SOS once again dominate early on in the GSL Codex? In the bottom left, Janair Green Wings, SOS. La Cucaracha. And in the bottom right, in the red, Billowy.
Wouldn't it be funny if he was the best Protoss in the world one day and like his ID is Billowy?
Yeah.
Billowy, that's like...
People like, who's the good player? People like Billowy, and you're like, what?
Like
Billowy?
I think of the word Billowy, and the only thing that comes to my mind is that is an adjective that is only used for clouds and sleeves from the 1700s.
Wow, yeah.
That is literally it. Sleeves from the 1700s and clouds. Like, how did he get this ID?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And does he truly know what it means?
He's like, yeah, no, I just love those shirts, man. I love
it.
I wish that I could just go to a court back then. You know, it's like one of these nice dinners where we all like dance in a line and stuff. And you know, I have these sleeves that just are just so fantastic.
Well, Artosis, this is the last game.
This is it.
On a map like this, I think we need, one of my explanations. They're oh so good.
Yeah.
That everybody makes fun of me of.
If only there was a bridge.
Well, if only there was a bridge on this map and 2 islands and important things happening later on in the game at the top of the map. But no.
Kind of a faster paced map a lot of the time. So
yeah, certainly.
It doesn't go to that top of the map.
People make fun of me for that, but then every time I get to show that to the new nerds on the block, they're like, "Oh yeah, look at that! He's right. There is a little bridge there."
Gosh.
Well, there are islands on this map. I don't see a lot of maps with islands.
You know that we're getting that map back next season, and I do wonder if one of these players, in fact, we're getting back in the round of 16 rather. Which player would you rather, because of those bridges, see advance to the next round?
SOS.
SOS. Why though?
Well, he might put an Archon on the bridge.
That would be so sick.
That would be so sick.
Oh my
God.
So good. I'd see that. Wow.
Woo! Woo, 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 woo. Stalkers moving out now for Billowy. And we have the Mothership Core moving across the bottom of the map, but there are Adepts coming up here to try to outmaneuver these Stalkers. Uh-oh.
That was a big mistake by SOS. You lose an adept to something like that. Ooh, that is great micro. Oh my God, that was so good. He saved it? Did he save it?
It lives.
It did live. That's crazy because if you accidentally shade next to stalkers and you micro like Billowy, you lose an adept. That's it. You lose one, the other one gets away. But like that micro of SOS where he like kind of blocked him while it went up a ramp, that was awesome, man.
Billowy already depleting the shields on this adept. It should get away without taking further damage. This adept lives on the edge.
Yeah, he really does.
He's like, I do not fear death. It's like, well, that's a little stupid. We really need Billowy to win this. Or SOS, rather.
Yeah.
I will gladly die for my Protoss brother. It's like, okay, will you do it efficiently? Cost efficiently, specifically. All right, I know you're a Protoss unit.
Yeah.